I have started the Shepherd Staff in Morristown, which is a lending library of medical equipment, durable medical equipment, which is referred to as DME, for people in need in the Lakeway area. So it's a central location for people in primarily Hamblin, Jefferson, and Granger counties, for people who have mobility issues and cannot afford to purchase DME on their own. I was surprised to find out that Medicare doesn't cover everything. Most people who are in need of this equipment are retired people, Medicare or on Medicaid. If you have Medicare, for example, if you don't have the Part B insurance, you are responsible for paying 20% of a wheelchair or a walker. And some people are on fixed incomes and they can barely afford their medication, much less buying something like a wheelchair. And for example, Medicare will cover only one wheelchair every 5 years. I'm in my last semester of school. I graduate in 2 weeks, yay. And thank you. I'm currently at Morristown Hamlin Hospital working in the occupational therapy department. I have a patient who is being discharged a few days ago, and she's going to her daughter's home to recover. Great, right? Well, there's one problem. Her wheelchair is too big to go through the doorways in her daughter's home, and she just got this wheelchair about 6 months ago. She is on a fixed income and cannot afford a new wheelchair, so what will she do? And a lot of people cannot drive to Knoxville to avail themselves of things like the East Tennessee Technology Center. So how did I get this started? First of all, I had to find a location, and my church graciously offered a Sunday school room that was not being utilized for me to store and run this out of it at my church, Good Shepherd Lutheran in Morristown. I had to start collecting equipment. I just got a text during dinner of a doctor in Morristown who has all kinds of things for me to pick up later tonight when I leave. Things like bedside commodes, walkers, wheelchairs, canes. We're even taking things like Depends undergarments, that unused packs or open packs, things like that people can use. So I'm still collecting equipment, and I had to create a binder of forms, rental agreements, things to check in, processes for volunteers to check items in. I contacted several organizations who are doing things like this successfully across the country, and some of them were able to share some really good information with me that I'm utilizing in starting this. Advertising, Facebook, word of mouth, hospitals, newspaper articles, radio. I'll be on the WCRK in a couple of weeks talking about this on a Saturday morning show, and they're doing a public service announcement that they'll keep playing for me. Networking with medical professionals and community leaders. I've been talking to case managers in the hospital, and they're very excited about this starting. And of course, cleaning and inspecting and cataloging all of this, and training people at the church who have offered to help me, and advertising the opening, and I hope to open at the end of next week. So these are just a few things that we have collected so far. Shout out to the OT department who donated a few things. And we need more. So if you all have anything that you have at home that you're not using, bedside commodes, walkers, wheelchairs, all those kinds of things, I would love to talk to you afterwards. So we talked about the purpose and the process involved, and here's the payoff. There are people who are in need of these things who will now have a centralized location in the Lakeway area to obtain durable medical equipment free of charge. They'll come in, they'll copy their driver's license, and they're allowed to check it out for 6 months. If they still need to check it out further at that time, they're allowed to keep it longer. There's no charge. And then families who no longer need this equipment now have a place to donate it where it will help others in the community, which a lot of people don't want to just give it away or take it to Goodwill. They want to give it to somebody who really needs it and have the knowledge that it's helping somebody directly. And so Shepherd Staff becomes a viable cog in the wheel of community services available in the Lakeway area. From my understanding, people from the case managers at the hospital, people will call all around to all of the social services in the area trying to locate something and have not been able to find anything. And I have been receiving monetary donations that will be used to purchase specific things for people as well. So if you have any items to donate, I'll be glad to talk to you after we're done tonight. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eileen Treadway. I graduated with my first degree here at Roane State in 2016, and I just had a hard time separating from Roane State. It was just like a family, and I love it here, so I came back and will be finishing my second degree in 2 weeks. And thank you. And I'm an early childhood educator. Yay! 3 and 4 years old. I got 16 of them in my classroom. And I'm currently working at the Head Start and together with the partnership of the Roane County School. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how important is nurturing children's creativity, because as an early childhood educator, when they come to the program, we always see to it that before they go to we call them big school, they will be emotionally ready, socially ready, and cognitively ready. So I'm gonna present a PowerPoint that will help others to understand the importance of critical thinking skills in the early childhood field. When a person is born, we have 2 kinds of thinking. The other one is convergent thinking, this is the logical thinking, and when the kids are still a baby, we try to nurture them, like reading books to them that will promote oral language development. And this baby, when they grow up and they started attending school, when they already developed their language skills, we started teaching them how to develop their critical thinking skills, which you're gonna ask them open-ended questions that will promote their problem-solving skills and be able to understand a lot of things that through play they can able to have role-playing, and it will nurture their development cognitively, social, emotionally, and physical development. And then that convergent thinking will be developed into a divergent thinking where they can able to think outside the box. And there are 4 pillars of divergent thinking, as we can see: fluency, originality, which is the uniqueness of ideas, flexibility, and elaboration. Even though they are just painting, we think that they are just painting, but actually you can ask them different open-ended questions that they can able to expand their knowledge and be able to be innovative and creative with what they are doing. Even though they are just building blocks, you can able to ask the process and how about the colors and stacking blocks. It promotes also their number counting skills, and they can able to understand a lot of things through the process. Importance of creativity in children. Fostering creativity in children is significant in their cognitive, intellectual, physical, and social emotional development. Because when children imagination is in full bloom, it encourages their fresh and new ideas to think outside the box. Like in here, we can see that they are just painting, but through that painting, they can actually learn in colors. They can able to incorporate counting. They can able to learn to share ideas with their peers, and they can able to stack the blocks, and it helps them with their fine motor skills development. It is also a hallmark of ingenuity, which leads to successes in the world of art, science, and technology. Like we can see here on the picture, we can see it is about plants. They are learning about nature, but actually you can incorporate asking them open-ended questions. They are learning what are the different things that the plants need in order for growth, so they are learning about science. And especially it exhibits, moreover, higher self-esteem and motivation, because when the children are playing, they develop their self-accomplishments. They have their originality, and when they are doing that, it helps them to have an environment that they will be able to feel that they are very independent in what they are doing. It nurtures their social and emotional aspects, that they can able to have sharing toys, and they can able to learn the control of being taking turns with their peers. So it really facilitates their social emotional aspects. Creativity nurture a child's curiosity. It is very important, like for example, with the ever-changing nature, I always ask my students to go for a nature walk, and they can find different things in there like leaves or flowers, and then we bring them in the classroom, and then we compare and contrast about the sizes, the textures of leaves, and also the colors, the flowers, and then we will incorporate it that it's not just a nature thing, it's not just about flowers or leaves, but actually we can do a lot of things about leaves. I am encouraging children that, hey, we can able to use this as a paintbrush. We are painting using the leaves and the flowers, and it is a very good idea for the children, because they can able to see that, oh, this is not just flowers or nature, but that we can incorporate it through science. And lastly, creativity promotes language and cognitive skills, because it widens their vocabulary, and also they are helping the children to promote their language acquisition. In conclusion, teachers can nurture creativity in a child by valuing it at school, encouraging self-expression, and rewarding creative behavior. Thank you.
Hola, damas y caballeros. We are students in our second semester of Spanish, and for our honors project, we have written a children's book which we will present to you. We all worked on the creation of the story and the translations, but we all had our personal jobs to do on this project. Logan Malico did the illustrations, Angel Filial edited the story, and I, Caitlin Roberts, created the presentation. We decided that the best way to present this book would be to tell the story in English, while the translation and illustrations would be on the PowerPoint beside us. We hope you enjoy our project.
Hello, my name is Charlie. I have a very beautiful mane, very sharp claws, very big fangs, and I am the fiercest lion on 8th Street. Being a lion is great because you're in charge of all the lame cats, and you can bite whoever you want. The common house cat trembles in fear at my approach because I make sure to bite a lame cat at least twice per week. It is kind of my most important job ever. Being a righteous and benevolent king over these felines is hard work. As a lion, I get to hunt for my food and everyone is scared of me. Once, the human walked toward me, and I roared at him so much he put me outside, for his own safety, of course. Another time, I was walking towards a group of lame kittens and yelled, "Fear your king, fools!" And they cried out,
"Oh man, it's Charlie!"
and all ran away from fear of my awesome strength. Life was pretty great, until yesterday, when I was practicing my pouncing on Sid, one of my underlings. He yelped,
"Charlie, stop pouncing on me! You're not a lion!"
"I am too a lion,"
"No, you aren't,"
said Lily. "Who are you to speak to me like this? I am your king." This was an outrage,
Charlie, you're just a kitten like the rest of us,
said Princess Buttersparkle III. "I am no such thing. Cats are lame and boring, and lions are cool and strong." Then I had an idea. "Okay, I will prove I'm a lion to all of you tomorrow." And with that, I went home to nap. because I was tired. Now, today is the day I'm going to show what a lion is made of. Thank you all for coming,
You didn't invite us here. We live here.
says Sid. Silence! Now, as you all know, there are some people who don't believe I'm a lion. So today, I will be proving to you that I am. I walk over to a very big tree. If I wasn't a lion, would I be able to climb to the top of this tree? They all look at each other and shake their heads. With that, I lunge at the tree and sink my big claws into it. I reach up to climb higher, but all of a sudden, my paw slips off and I roll backwards onto the ground. Wait, I can do it. I try again and again and again, but I fall every time. Well, that's fine. Lions wouldn't have to climb anyways. Nothing would be able to chase them up a tree. I'll show you something that only a real lion could do. I walk over to a great pond and turn to my peasants. If I wasn't a lion, would I be able to jump across this great pond?
That's a puddle, Charlie.
Close enough. They all agree that I probably can't do it. What a surprise they'll be in for when I do it so easily. I plant my paws on the ground and crouch down. Then I spring into the air and soar straight into the water.
Ew, you're all wet.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. A lion wouldn't have to jump across a pond anyways, because nothing could chase a lion across a pond. I'll prove I'm a lion for sure, right now. Suddenly, the human walks out. I'll roar at him so loud that he'll run away and cry.
Aw, hey there, cutie.
I am not cute, I'm fierce. But I guess I'm not fierce, because I can't do anything a lion can. So I guess I'm not a lion. I guess I'm just a lame cat like you guys.
Hey, Charlie, you're not lame. Cats are better than lions anyways.
No way. Lions are cool and strong.
We'll show you the cats are better.
Sid walks over to a big pillow and lays down on it.
See?
What?
Cats can take naps whenever they want. And if you were a lion, you'd have to be up all day and do stuff like hunting and fighting. I'm gonna sleep here all day. And tomorrow.
Well, I guess that's pretty cool.
Oh, and watch this.
She walks over to the human, and the human picks her up and rubs her belly.
Cats can get petted whenever they want. No one pets lions.
That's true. I do like a good belly rub.
And this is the best one.
We walk over to our food bowl.
Free food.
I frown. I will not eat that. That bowl is half empty. We'll starve.
But watch this.
Suddenly, the human was there filling the bowl back up. Whoa! This is amazing! All my friends and I begin eating the food, and then my mom walks up. Hey, Mom, do you want to eat with my friends and me?
Friends? Oh, are they lions too?
Nope, just some cool cats like me. Thank you.
Today I'll be talking to you about America's military. The military holds the bravest and most courageous souls within our country. It holds those who keep our country safe, even in times of peace, but and also times of war. Within my life, I have been part of a military family. I have learned from my family the very importance of respecting the military, and I have learned the history that has behind each and every branch, which that America's military, it is composed of several branches. The first branch is the Army, the Navy, the Marine, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard, in which the first branch, consisting of the Army, is the very first one that our country was established with. And what is very interesting is with the Army came our Air Force, because the Air Force was actually, before it was the Air Force, it was the Army Air Corps. And it was composed with the Army. for going overseas and protecting us from above and abroad, and away and from home. In the Army, it has two types of strengths, and it has composed of its physical components as well as when they're out there doing PT, or they're training to fly the helicopters or anything that has to do with protecting our country. The second branches consist of the Navy and the Marines, which the Marines is branched off of the Navy. And the Navy, it is composed of our sailors. And what the Navy does, it protects us from the enemies out in the seas and in the ocean, as you can see from Pearl Harbor. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, our Navy was right there. Our Navy was right there to take action, and our Navy and our Marines, they took right on with them and they fought. And then what that brought forth was our country coming together for our Army, our Air Force, and our Navy and Marine Corps to go and protect this country. And according to the U.S. Navy website, the Navy has a specific mission. Its specific mission requires it to protect us from our enemies. It requires them to take action when action is needed. The Navy's specific mission is to protect us in the sea and beyond our seas, across the country, across the nation, across the world. That way, for when someone is wanting to harm our country or one of our allies, our Navy will be right there. Our Navy will be scattered around the world in order to keep peace, because America is that peace across the country. And the Marine Corps, of course, it was branched off the Navy, but our Marine Corps, it consists of our toughest, our most core people, because when our Marine Corps is training, they're training to fight. They're training to go in to the war first off. They're there for our first defense, because our Marine Corps is there to protect us from anything. Our Marine Corps is there to make that line of defense. That way our Navy and our Army and our Coast Guard can come in and take further action. But our Marine Corps is there because they're there to keep moving. They're there to keep going, and they're the building blocks to keep each branch together. And from that, our last branch of the military is the United States Coast Guard, in which this one is very interesting because U.S. Coast Guard doesn't necessarily just protect us from our enemies, but the U.S. Coast Guard, you can find them within our oceans, along our coastlines, because they're there to keep the drugs out of our country. The Coast Guard is there to protect us from the enemies as well, but their main job is to keep all the bad out of our country, off our coastlines, and they're there to go forth and take dangerous opportunities, such as when our hurricanes come in and everything is flooded, they go in and they save us. they're there to protect us. And for those people who didn't make it out of their homes, they're there to go in and say, it's okay, we're here to help you. And they're there with our reserves, our military reserves, to go out and bring aid upon our country. They're there to go in times of stress. They're there to go in and take that stress and take it away. They're there to bring us together as a country. And that is what our military is composed of, because they are the ones who will sit there and give it all. They're there to give their lives, the ultimate sacrifice that we as people may not be able to do right now. Some of us are not meant to go into the military, and that's okay, but those people who are in the military, they're there for your protection. They're there for your safety so you can live your everyday life in America. They're there for your rights and their values and your core. They are America's heart. And in summary, the United States Army and Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard sacrificed their lives to protect the United States of America. Together, each defends our country to keep that peace, to keep us strong, to keep us moving forward, and to be an example unto the world, because America is that example across the world. We are that country that every country looks toward for leadance and guidance. And if you see a veteran and active military personnel, always thank him or her for his or her service. Also show them the respect, because each person serving in the military, they have put that sacrifice. They have gave it all for you and I to be here right now. They have been set forth to give that ultimate sacrifice that some of us cannot give in order to protect this country. And that's America's military.
Thank you all so much for coming out this evening. The presenters, their families, faculty and staff and administrators, we really appreciate all the support that you've given these honor students, and I know on behalf of the honor students, they're grateful to have your support. At this point, we're going to recognize the presenters and then those students who have earned Honors Associate and Honors Diploma for their graduation. So please come forward when I call your name here. Logan Malacote. Angel Filiop. Aileen Treadway. Caroline Novilla. Kimberly Huffman. Holly Stripling. I don't believe she was able. Yes, there you are. Alyssa Evans. Jessica Morgan. Rachel Andrews. Amber Morton. Blake Ivy. Aaron McDonald. Anjali Patel. Caitlin Lawn. Sandra Fraser. Caitlin Roberts. Jasmine Potter. And Brittany Faust. We think this is probably the largest group of presenters we've had at an honors forum. So we appreciate all their contributions. Some of you folks may need to come on up for one more thing. To recognize, first of all, those students who are graduating with Honors Associate in a couple of weeks. Not every one of these may be here, but I do want to call out their names to recognize them. Honors Associates have completed 12 semester hours worth of courses with honors projects. Colton Bochtler, Skylar Crawford, Leanna Leknowski, Colin McQuiston, Krista Lane, Jessica Morgan. Jessica, right there. Okay. We have a special medallion for them. Caroline Navilla, Autumn Templin, Ashley Wright, and Patricia Young. And we have a select group of students who are graduating with honors diplomas. This means they have earned at least 18 credit hours with honors projects along the way. Krista Belding, Allison Carruthers, Caitlin Lawn, Evan Lowry, Tabitha Mecklenburg, Jeffrey Russell, Dakota Thompson, Aileen Treadway, and Christy White. And we have one person we felt we needed to recognize specially this year. For the first time ever in the honors program, I've mentioned it takes 18 credit hours of honors credit to earn an honors diploma. Well, we have one person among us who has earned, by that count, more than 3 honors diplomas, graduating in 2 weeks with 58 hours of honors credit is Caitlin Lawn. Another big hand for all of our presenters, please. And thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we appreciate your support of the honors program, and especially for our students. Good night.